we'll go in folded leaf. So anything in folded leaf, you know, a possible fall. Likely, I mean, I've seen people go over this way, but more than likely, because if they go this way, you have your hands to push back, it's going to be that lateral fall, right, side to side. So if you feel like you're falling out to the side, as the base, bend your knees to lower the distance, and push your flyer's torso up, so her feet will land first, that way. And you as a flyer, make sure to bring your feet down first. Or if you're falling out this way, touch the mat with your hand, but the object is to support your weight before you fall. Okay, so be mindful of that. Okay, let's do folded leaf into walnuts. A nice, check out her strata putty. Very nice indeed. Makes it very easy for me to balance her, right? And my feet are tucked in really close to her hips, so that's comfortable. We'll go hands between my shins. You'll diamond your legs and grab your own feet. We call this Baddha Konasana or diamond. So once you watch as the base, I had to open my knees out so I could fit my flyer through, fit Siobhan through.
Why are you making that face, Siobhan?
And check out my feet. Yes, they're super deep, way back here. They're not shallow over here. They're way back here, they're tucked in. And then from here, I can work on her back there. Chop, 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 chop. Or you can just bend your knees and put weight into it. That feels nice too.
Interesting.
Walk it out. And this is a transition. This helps you to get from here into the next transition, like tabletop and different things. But do this first. Knees out, bend them in, push them up like that.
Oh yeah, I can see how that would be a transition.
So make sure to have that nice pike and grab like the diamond shape for the flyer, and then my feet have a place to rest. I'm bending my knees so the weight comes into my hands. There we go. Like that.
I'll probably do that one very easy.
Great.
All right.
Amazing.
2 ways to come out of this. Either back into folded leaf, or if she starts to fall over back this way, I've just got to press my hands straight, lock my hands so that she doesn't fall on top of me, so her legs come over. Let's demo again.
I don't remember how we get into this.
We'll go folded leaf.
Folded leaf. You did the 360.
Watch my feet again. Tuck deep. She's going to walk through. I'm bending my knees through, and then arms straight. Alright, let's go from here back to folded leaf. Okay, you'll stay in that baby bat. I'm going to bend my knees out. You're going to fit through, and then you can kick your legs in. Both. Okay, hands. Come down. Anything I can clarify? Hello, hello. Today we are teaching what it means to be safe and what it means to fall and fall well. And my lovely assistant Becky and I will be demonstrating a position that many believe to be a beginner's position, but I actually think that it is an intermediate position because I define level by extremity of falls or how likely you could be hurt. So let's demonstrate back fly, something that can seem, is the word innocuous?
Innocuous.
Innocuous,
Yep.
where something seems, it could be so safe, it's just nothing, it's just a little back fly and how it could go wrong. So back fly, I think this distance from my leg distance here is I think about 4 feet. And even at this height, I feel you can really hurt yourself. A common fall is side to side. And if you're falling side to side this way, and you fall straight down really fast, and you're unable to turn, you can fall right down on your wrist really hard. And see how Becky, she instinctively turned towards the mat and brought her hand down. And if you're a new flyer and you don't have that instinct, you could definitely just go right over and land on your shoulder really hard or on your head. So what I want to demonstrate today is one step before you do back fly. Let's try a position that's a little lower. Let's do hammock. So I'm going to demonstrate the little points to create hammock. The first thing the base does is gauge the distance. My hands are on the ground and my flyer is able to touch my hands with her heels. I place my feet on her knees, not parallel to her legs, but out like folded leaf, feet out, so that her knees can fold over my feet. She's going to sit down onto my shins and just lean on back slowly. A common mistake for flyers is that they keep their hips up and lift their hips up. Will you lift your hips up? So really sink in with your butt. Let yourself relax. It's called hammock for a reason. You're relaxing into it. Your head drops back. You're relaxing into it. That's a hammock. There you go. She brings arms to the side. That's a hammock. And notice my arms are stacked right above my shoulders. And your feet can go side to side. Now keep in mind the purpose of this video again is to teach safety. I want to fly hammock first because this distance is it's about 1.5 feet lower than back fly, to help train a possible what it feels like to fall from a supine position where you're unable to see the ground. So when beginner flyers fly anything, any supine positions where they can't see the ground, the first time they fall, it's a real shock. They don't know exactly what's happening to their body as they're falling. And so one thing that could happen is they tend to resist that fall and like kind of get this fight or flight response where they're like so shocked about what's happening that they're not in a calm state of mind to go with the fall. So now we're going to demonstrate what you can do on the ground to train not only your body but more so your mind to know the experience of falling in a supine position when you're looking up towards the sky and not able to see the ground. So let's have Becky demonstrate. So Becky wants to demonstrate this because she herself has fallen from a back fly position. And could you share your experience of what happened? Just your own experience of falling from back fly and
yeah,
how you reacted to that.
So falling from back fly, at first we were falling sideways, and I didn't know whether we were just wobbling or whether we were falling until it was so late into the fall that I couldn't have time to react or think. I didn't know how to fall, so I whipped my body forward this way and fell sideways. But the result was that for like hours, 2 hours or 3 hours, my back was hurting from the whip action of falling forward. So I was trying to resist the fall rather than knowing how to just fall into the safety position.
So if we were to practice something on the ground, what would be a good kind of practice to condition that feeling of you're about to fall?
Yeah, so one of the things was knowing that if I hit the ground, I would be safe, and then I know how to hit the ground and distribute the weight, rather than feeling like I shouldn't fall, like I should make falling be wrong. So, yeah.
That's a great, I like what you just said, to not feel like falling is so wrong, like it's like something that to be ashamed of.
Right.
It's something that naturally occurs in acro and in life, where you have things that you fail at every day, but in the act of failing you are learning. So actually some of the most successful people, some of the best acro yogis you probably know, are people who do fall a lot and fall all the time and know how to fall well and don't see that falling as something to be ashamed of, but to relish and knowing how to fall well. So let's demonstrate what something we can do to just practice that mental response of falling from back fly.
So I love practicing distributing the weight by just sitting up like this and literally just falling to the side with my whole body. Oh, actually, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Let's do that again.
Yeah.
Ah. Distributing it all against, so that my body lands more or less at the same time, distributing the weight throughout the whole.
So it's not pinpoint like on the elbow, like just on your head, where you're distributing the weight.
Far more likely to be hurt if I'm pushing all that weight in one point.
Yes.
Yeah. And I get a great relationship with the ground. The ground is almost there for me in this kind of mental practice. Yeah.
And so the more you do that, you feel more comfortable when the fall happens. You don't get that reaction of, oh my God, what is this new feeling? You're so comfortable in practicing this motion.
Yeah.
And when it does happen, you know to go with that fall and to get into a position of safety rather than just to freeze and not know what to do.
Yeah, I like to think of it as creating a relationship with the fall. Like I'm creating the relationship with the falling experience and building my own confidence that I can handle the contact with the ground.
Yeah, so the ground, if you see it as a friend, you're getting to know him better.
There you go.
Better.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, this is our little tutorial on falling. Let us know what you think. And until next time, guys, have fun and play safe. This is from what I have seen. Just come back here. You're going to start actually in whale position here. I find this takes a lot less strength and like control than jumping in. I'm gonna just bring my feet underneath you and sit
Okay.
down with a chair. And I'm just gonna do one squat and push up with my hands there, right?
Okay.
So I can adjust my feet there. So easy throw.
Okay.
And remember that you can fall, in this easy throw it's a little harder to fall because you have more points of contact.
Mhm.
When you're in the straddle throw and you're wrapped here, the very things that keep you safe, the very things that you're used to keeping you secure, can also hurt you. There's a fall and you're still wrapped in.
Gotcha. Okay.
So my job is the base, and your job when you're basing is you always keep your hands up until you feel like you're totally.
That way, if the
Constant.
flyer falls, they can come this way and not.
Yes, it's really rare that flyer can fall back really fast. One, because these hooks are in, it's
Mhm.
harder to fall back. And I'm going to do that in perfect shaking. I will not drop you.
No, I trust.
But also, you have the core strength to keep yourself upright if there's a fall back.
Yeah.
But you fall forward, there isn't a muscle that kind of prevents you from falling forward.
Right, because the hinge wants to come forward.
Yes, and this here doesn't protect you from falling forward.
No.
It protects you from falling back.
Okay.
So my hands as the base are always up. So if you fall forward, your hands are there to catch. Right? And if you're falling out, you want to unwrap your feet right away.
Okay.
So come back up, please. So watch what Sammy's doing here. If there's a fall, my hands are up for her to catch, and she also unwraps her feet right away so that her feet can land before her face lands on the ground. Because these wraps, they keep you safe at the moment you're falling. If you're still wrapped, you're going to bend right onto your knee, and that hurts. So it could, you know. So keep that in mind. Another thing that I do, even before that mount, is I love doing belly basing.
Okay.
I always say that things on an L position about this 4 feet high are actually not beginner positions. I find them intermediate positions. Mostly because even at this height you could get hurt if you fall out improperly. So I always have new flyers fly on bases in a belly base position.
Oh,
So
okay.
Sammy could just come over here. She can squat over my torso, because when the feet are this way, they're actually opposite. You're not going to be facing me, you're going to be facing
Facing
away.
away?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how the feet are placed.
So here, and then
Yeah,
hips
you
to
just sit
feet.
right down, yeah. Sit right down onto my, or you can do bird, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know where I'm going here,
There you
so.
go.
There
You
we
can
go.
do bird.
Yeah,
And
that
this-
is harder though, because you
Yeah,
can. Ooh.
and yeah, it's lower, so it's
Versus-
safer. So let's do throne. Have you just sit down.
Okay. That's, yeah. Communications. Okay.
You sit right down, yeah, and wrap your legs. And you know that you're so low to the ground that a fall, it not only teaches you physically what throne feels like, but also it teaches you mentally what it feels to fall out of throne.
Woohoo.
See
Okay.
how she unwraps her feet right away? That's a good instinct to have. Sometimes when you're in the moment of falling, you get this kind of fight or flight moment, and if you're not used to that feeling, you tend to freeze up, or you could. You're like, I don't know what to do. So you want to practice on the ground and get really comfortable with the feeling of falling, so when that does come up, you're not so psyched out by it. You just know, oh, this feeling, I'm familiar with it. I felt it before. It's not so much an enemy. It's not exactly your friend, because it can hurt you. But it can be your friend if you, instead of fight it, you dance with it. You're like, okay, I'm falling. I just need to unhook. Embrace myself. Hello, boys and girls. Today we are doing a fun counterbalance on the basis sacrum. First, let's demonstrate a possible fall. So, I'm going to come down onto my shins, get into a child's pose. The flyer steps on my sacrum bone, and the second foot steps on my upper back. Now, you want to try this at this level before you come high, and see if you feel comfortable falling out of this before you try anything above this level. So a possible fall as you're coming up this way is the flyer starts to look down, because their natural instinct is, oh, I'm falling, and they look down to spot the fall. But when you look down, you bring this bowling ball of weight, which is your head, and you bring it down, and it drops all your weight forward, so it's really dangerous. So a good thing to do is, if you feel like you're falling, for the flyer, the first thing she does, or he does, is he squats. Boom. And then I, as the base, also squat down low to get that height lower. And then she can use her hands the whole time. If she's looking down, she's going to fall forward. But if she spots ahead and squats at the same time, she can surf like a surfboard and try to grab my head or grab my hips or something, to where she's still looking forward, but squatting to lower her height. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're falling. And always try it at this level before you go high. So now let's break down what the base and the flyer can do to keep this safe. So again, I'm getting in a child's pose. I'm on my shins. I'm kneeling forward. My hands are underneath me to support myself. And then the flyer will step on my sacrum, bones in the back, and the second foot steps here towards my neck here. From there, I'm going to lift my neck back, reach over for her heel here, and then the second hand I'll grab the front of the foot. I'm giving her support, but I'm not grabbing on tight, because if she falls, I want to make sure to give her the choice to hop off of me if she wants. So I'm not going to grab onto her feet, but I'm going to provide a nice support. Then as I slowly extend my arms forward, she's going to slowly lean away from me to create that counterbalance. And it's very important that the flyer leans very slowly, because the quicker she makes her adjustment, I have to adjust that much faster. So slow movements on the flyer's part, and you can try to play with how far you can lead. Notice how the leg on my sacrum is very straight and it's stacked, and that gives her a lot of strength as she stacks her legs. I'm going to support her legs this way, counterbalance there, and her weight's going back, so I'm pulling forward a little bit with the open palm. And notice how she draws a nice line with the T-bone with her hands, and her hips are forward and her shoulders are back. From there, you can slowly lean down to your knees and lean up this way to go a little higher. And she's going to try to keep that leg on the sacrum nice and straight. I'm sorry, her legs, the legs that are on my sacrum, nice and straight for that balance. There you go. And then we'll slowly come down, bring her feet back on your shoulder, and then she can just slowly hop off. Again, to try that on the ground before you do that in the air. So for flyers, I would recommend that they just try to see if they can balance on one leg first. Do that lean. See how comfortable that feels before you jump on someone's back. So until then, guys, be playful and be safe. I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.